When people talk about moving to Oregon, they usually mention Portland, Bend, or the coast. But there is one city that almost nobody ever brags about, even though more people are quietly choosing it every year. And what I've noticed is this: for people that choose this city for the right reasons, well, they end up tending to stay. For those that choose it for the wrong reasons, well, they have pretty immediate regrets. So in this video, I'm going to break down why people are quietly moving to Salem, Oregon, and you're going to find out whether it's the right fit for you. But to really understand why Salem keeps showing up on people's radar, you have to zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about Salem. It's about why so many people are looking at Oregon in the first place. A lot of people I talk to are coming from busier, more expensive areas, and they're not chasing the excitement anymore. They're chasing balance. They want access to nature without feeling isolated. They want a slower pace of life without feeling stuck. And they just want a place that works for their everyday life, not just the weekends. And that search is what leads people to Oregon and eventually to cities like Salem, Oregon. And this is exactly the process that my family and I were making when we were considering moving out of the big city of Los Angeles, making the move to Oregon, and figuring out which city was going to work best for us. To understand why Salem, Oregon is showing up on more and more people's radar, you first have to understand why people are choosing Oregon at all. Now, for us and for a lot of people that I know here, it was a lifestyle reset. My family and I were tired of what the big city and Los Angeles was providing our family, and we wanted more nature and less excitement, if that makes sense. We just were tired of that rush and the buzz of a big city, and we wanted the more peaceful quietness and access to nature without also being in like extreme weather or feeling isolated and away from our day-to-day activities and our day-to-day amenities. Another reason why people choose Oregon in general is because of the lower costs here and the less stress here, because people have a little bit more of a different value system in Oregon. Again, it goes back to nature and the natural settings that we have here and that overall slower pace in Oregon compared to a lot of states that people are moving from to Oregon. And also, with more and more people being able to do remote work from home, people are leaving these states and cities that again are all about hustle and the grind and moving to a more serene, peaceful, quiet state like Oregon. But choosing Oregon is one thing, choosing the right city in Oregon is another. But here's the reality check when it comes to Oregon and where people get stuck. When people think Oregon, they immediately think Portland, but Portland isn't what they expect day to day. There's a lot of congestion. It's still a high cost city when compared to other cities in and around Oregon. People feel like there's still a grind going on. It's a little gritty, a little too dirty, and it just doesn't meet exactly what they're looking for. Now, as people move along in their search in Oregon, they start thinking about Bend or the coast. Well, Bend and the coast can be a lot more pricier. When it comes to Bend, there's a lot of people coming from big city with big city money like San Francisco and Los Angeles that have driven the real estate prices way high. And while Bend is beautiful and surrounded by nature, people may feel a little bit isolated kind of from the rest of Oregon. And that takes us to the coast, where it could also be more expensive. You still feel that sense of isolation, this time just along the coast. And also weather-wise, the weather along the Oregon coast isn't necessarily what people would expect. It's a lot more gloomy, a lot more dreary, and it does rain quite a bit, even during the summer months. So for a lot of people searching to move to Oregon, they start feeling a little bit overwhelmed, priced out, and not sure exactly where to go in this beautiful state. And that's the exact moment where Salem, Oregon comes into the conversation. And of course, if you are quietly thinking about moving to Salem, Oregon, as my family and I did, I want to remind you, I am Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, local real estate agent that loves helping people relocate to the city of Salem, Oregon. Hit me up at the contact information popping up or in the description below if you're thinking about moving here and buying a house. Comment below with any questions there as well. If you want more lifestyle videos about Salem, subscribe to the channel for more videos and hit the like button to get this video out to more people thinking about moving to Salem, Oregon. Maybe it won't be so quiet if this video gets out to a lot of people. And as more people dive a little bit deeper into Salem, Oregon, they realize why it starts to make so much sense for them. And that's exactly how my family and I felt when we started doing more research about this city before we moved here. We understood how central Salem is in the Willamette Valley. So we could really take advantage of all the different lifestyles in and around Oregon. Whether you want to go up to Portland and have some big city life entertainment, you're about an hour away. If you want to go into the mountains where you're skiing, hiking, camping, again, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. If you want to take advantage of the beautiful coastline that we have here in Oregon, again, we're just about an hour away. If you want to go south into some college towns and enjoy that experience, well, about an hour and a half away is Eugene, and about an hour away is Corvallis, where two major universities are. So you really can have it all when choosing Salem, Oregon. And the best part is it's one of the most affordable mid-sized cities that we have here. It's more affordable than Portland, Bend, Eugene, the coast, and yet you can experience all those different lifestyles still living in Salem, Oregon. And as my family and I discovered and what we were looking for, we wanted that slower pace, the quieter lifestyle, and Salem affords us that. And we're surrounded by nature, so we get that as well. And for my family and I, we just saw Salem as an easier life for us. And at first glance, Salem is not exciting, and that's exactly why people underestimate it. Salem doesn't really advertise itself, and that ends up filtering who actually ends up moving and living here. It's quiet and understated, and that's the whole point of being in Salem, Oregon. You certainly don't see massive ad campaigns or marketing ploys to lure and attract people to Salem, whether it's for moving here or tourism. It's not a very touristy city. It's not flashy. It's not trend driven. And again, that's exactly the whole point. We're not trying to attract people that are trying to follow trends or be in the limelight. Being concerned with what's popular or trendy at the moment just isn't on people's radars here. It's really a city for planners, not people that are impulsive or trying to be on the next trend of what's cool. And this is why Salem works incredibly well for some people and feels boring to others. My family and I were tired of that big city life, the glitz, the glamour, keeping up with the Joneses, always trying to be trendy, caring what people thought. That's just not what Salem is about, and that is what was so attractive to us. We wanted more for us, more for our family, than just that superficial, surfacey type things. And this leads us to who is actually moving to Salem, Oregon. Salem tends to appeal to people with different lifestyles. Some are remote workers seeking space and a manageable commute. Others are looking for neighborhoods with parks, community resources, and a slower pace of life. Some are planning for retirement, while others are relocating to Oregon for a fresh start in a city that balances amenities, nature, and a daily convenience. And if you're nodding your head yes, and if this is resonating with you, then Salem, Oregon probably just moved up on your list, as it did for my family and I when we were searching places to live in the state of Oregon. Salem is appealing for people who want a balanced life, want to be more a part of nature, less a part of the grind, want to be more of a quieter pace of life than the hustle that you would find in a larger city. This again was what was appealing for my family and I. It's why we chose Salem. We just feel more at peace. We feel a lot more calm. Our stress levels are way down. I love driving through the city, seeing all the greenery. I love being surrounded by farmland and wineries because, well, I love nature and I love being part of that agritainment. We've got lots of things to do here that nature is incorporated. We love that we can drive through the city without being stuck in traffic for hours. We love going to community events without feeling overcrowded. I love that I can take my kids and family to a local park or the wildlife nature reserve areas here with not feeling like I'm shoulder to shoulder with people and actually enjoying the natural settings for what it's meant to be. I love that I can go to downtown Salem, not battle for parking, not have to park from miles away from where I want to go, and then just enjoy the quaint and charm that downtown Salem has to offer. Even as I'm sharing this with you on video, it's actually reminding me that I made the right decision. I actually am feeling at peace with the decision I made to move here several years ago. And it's reminding me of what I did not like about where I lived before. However, if you're watching this and it's feeling too slow, too boring, there is an honest trade-off that we're going to get into right now. Okay, we're going to talk about what people don't put in a brochure or what you may not find in other relocation videos. And we're going to start off what Salem isn't. It is not a place for people who want a nightlife or who want that big adventure into a big city or who want the big concert venues or large sporting events, or for people who love the feeling of the buzz of a large city or just being surrounded by a lot of people. It is a much quieter, smaller nightlife that we have here in Salem. A lot of places close early, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Some places stay open till midnight, but not many, and certainly not much past that time. Also, places aren't necessarily open 7 days a week. Some stores and retail outlets and restaurants are closed on random days throughout the week. So if that's something that's going to bother you, then just know that that's going to be a trade-off that you may not really like, and the reality may hit you a little harder than you're anticipating. We're also going to talk about weather. The weather here in Salem, well, it's cloudy and rainy during the fall and winter. Is it dreary 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for those two seasons? No, but just be prepared. If you're not used to the Pacific Northwest weather, then you're most likely going to have a big adjustment. Took my family the first fall and winter to go through. We came from sunny Southern California, where we had about 300 and change days of sun, to a place that has about maybe half of 150 days of sun. So just be prepared for that gloomy days, and I suggest coming out during the fall and winter to see what it's really like. Now, I mentioned a quieter nightlife. Well, it's just a quieter place in general, slower pace. People move here slowly. Decisions are made here slowly. People aren't in a hurry. People aren't hustling here. So if that's something that you enjoy, and believe me, I understand. There was a time in my life where I loved the hustle. I like the grind. I like the speed. I want to go, go, go. That's just not where I am at this point in my life with my family. It's not something I wanted to raise my kids around, but I understand that. So if you are looking for that, Salem's just not going to be right for you. It's probably going to feel too quiet. So there is that trade-off there. People who love Salem actually know these things before they move here. And in a few minutes, we're going to dive into people who regret moving to Salem, Oregon. So if Salem checks so many boxes for people, why doesn't it get more attention? Why does it get overlooked? First and foremost, it generally gets overshadowed by Portland, and when people think Salem, they just think it's the capital city of Oregon and not really much more. There's no real hype in marketing Salem. It's kind of hard to hype up understated, livable, manageable. That doesn't necessarily draw attention or attraction. But for the right people, it's exactly what you want to hear. It's exactly why you're choosing to move to Salem, Oregon. And being overlooked is exactly what keeps Salem livable. That's actually the advantage to being in Salem, Oregon. And when my family and I were thinking about moving outside of Los Angeles, outside of California, Salem was not first on our radar. It wasn't even on our radar at all. We did some research. We did have some family here, but even that, with visiting them, we didn't think we'd move to Salem. But the more and more we thought about it, the more we realized what we actually wanted for our lifestyle, what we wanted for our kids. Salem just made the most sense to us. So why is Salem a city where you would stay long term? I've asked many of my clients who have helped move here. I've even asked myself, why would we stay here long term? And the answer is predictable, and that's probably because Salem is predictable. It's just the ease of life, the community vibe and the feel that you have here. I've never felt more connected in a city than I have before moving to Salem, Oregon. When I go to different community events, whether it's fall festivities during the fall, all the different fairs and festivals that we have here throughout the year, movies at the park, music at the park, so many things to do here, and seeing the whole community come and rally through these events and in these events, I really absolutely feel connected. And I think that connection is why people end up staying. It's something that people really want. Deep down inside, they want to feel connected to the neighborhood, to the community that they live in. So you don't feel burnt out trying to chase everything and everyone when living here in Salem, Oregon. And as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking that Salem isn't really a city that you chase. It's something that you more settle into. And now that we talked about who this city is for, we're going to dive a bit deeper in who this city is not for. I know I touched a little bit about this before, but I think it should draw a little bit more attention in this video because you really want to make sure before moving to Salem that you understand the lifestyle that you're coming to. We are not a mini Portland. Even though we're just an hour away, we're in Oregon, we are not Portland at all. And again, that's the point. If you're looking for a wild nightlife, if you're looking to party, go to bars and clubs, if you're looking to pull all-nighters and stay out late, you're going to be severely disappointed here in Salem. If you're looking for a trend-driven urban energy center, Salem is not going to be right for you. Now, I'm not saying Salem doesn't have some cool things to do or doesn't have some great restaurants or that it doesn't have its own culture here, but trendiness is not part of the culture here. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into Portland or the Portland suburbs and the cities around it and just immediately feel that vibe that there's this want and desire to be part of this trend, whether it's fashion, culture, music, art, whatever it is, it's more to me based on trend rather than the experience itself. I don't know if that makes sense or can resonate with people. Maybe it's just a feeling that I have. And again, Salem has culture. We've got art. We've got music here. We've got some good food here. So those themes are similar. It's just how you approach it and how you feel about them what makes the difference between Portland and Salem. And it's not to say one is better than the other. It just really depends on what you are looking for in your lifestyle at this point of your life. So again, if you are seeking that higher energy or more of that Portland vibe, then I highly recommend looking in the Portland area and not really focusing on Salem. And this leads us to the regret factor. And this usually comes from choosing the wrong area or anticipating the wrong lifestyle. It's not really necessarily the city itself. It's really the mindset that you have coming into the city of Salem. People who don't do their homework about the neighborhoods and the lifestyle, often it leads to disappointment. But you're watching this video, so in essence, you are doing a lot of your homework. Again, a lot of these videos weren't around when I moved here a handful of years ago, and so this research wasn't readily available because, again, it goes back to Salem not being heavily marketed, not a lot of advertisement about it, and people who live here tend to be a little bit more quiet about the city itself, so it's harder to find information about it. And again, that's why I do these videos for people like you who are thinking about making the move, buying a home here in Salem, Oregon. With helping many people move to Salem, Oregon, and having gone through the relocation myself, I can understand a lot of the questions and concerns and the hurdles that you may be facing when moving to this city. So if you are thinking about making that move, buying a home, make sure you reach out to me. My contact information is popping up or in the description below. I am David Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, and I absolutely love helping people make the relocation to this awesome city. And if you want more lifestyle content about the city of Salem, Oregon, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like button to get this video out to more people like yourselves thinking about moving here. Comment below. I can answer questions there as well.